Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. This week I have Rob from the awesome band Spring Ahead, Fall Apart, Jersey compadre. Great music. They headlined our Mending Through music festival we held last December, and it was a great showing. It was very much a weight lifted off my shoulders when I know I have a great band who I can rely on to headline such a enormous event that means the world to me. And now that I can repay a favor of just wanting to help such a great band get their music out there to more than just the fucking algorithm that all of these bands fight through, we're going to do our part We're going to learn a little bit about Rob today. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Rob.
Thank you very much, Shane. I'm very, very excited to be here, and thank you again. Thank you for those kind words. I remember when you said that to me in person. When the band finished playing at the event, but it was also one of those events that you wish you didn't have to do,
Yeah.
right, for those reasons.
Yeah.
But the bright spots are, you get to remember your family, but also you get to meet cool people like yourself and a couple of other people that we met that day. So
Yeah.
thank you for
It's,
letting me have us here.
hey, listen, it is one of those things where I've my whole life I've learned through my own musical journey is I've met so many people that will stay with me through my life just because of the similarities in music likes that we have, and meeting at shows and meeting people, exchanging numbers and having those friends still reach out. Like, and it is so important that I, I, I firmly believe that music removes all of the differences we have between our upbringings, gender, your religion, your race. Like, it just completely removes it, and it just brings people together. And that's why, not only for the specific reason I started the organization, but other than that, to have all these different walks of life in the same room and everyone leaving as friends, like, that's what's really important to me about it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm from the school of thought that like when I write music, or when whoever else writes music, right? Sometimes people say, like, they write it and there's a certain meaning behind it. And granted, there is, but I don't subscribe to the school of thought that, like, you have to follow my reason that I wrote the song. So, and that's what I always do like to say, even when I have to, when Kevin, my bandmate, my best friend, he tells me to, like, talk in front of, talking between songs. Like, I don't have much to say a lot, because whatever you feel from the song, that's great. If you like the song just the way it sounds, that's cool. If the lyrics make sense to you, amazing. If it makes you feel a certain way, that's great too. But at the end of the day, I write music because this is just the music that I like to listen to, and that's kind of what I put down. So,
Yeah, no,
but yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with Kevin, because I don't. I've always said I don't want to know what the song is about from the artist, because
Yeah,
of the simple fact that you've let it go, right? Like, you write a song, you put it out into the world, you've now let it go. You've let your soul, your heart, everything out there to be judged and someone else take control over, and now it belongs to them, and they have
yeah,
their own meaning to it. And if you describe why you wrote it and what the meaning is behind it, now it's just like a big fuck you of what it meant to them when they heard it. That's
yeah,
just my,
yeah,
old man
and
belief of Storytellers was a horrible show.
yeah. That was VH1,
Yeah,
right?
it was VH1.
Ah. No, listen, and, like, I only have one song that I actually, that the reason I gave is an actual thing, and it's the song "Rapid Loss." I wrote it after my mom passed away 8 years ago now. So that's the only song that I do say something like that. But otherwise, Shane, what I like to do is, like, another song that, like, has very sad sounding lyrics. I'll make up a different story each time. I'm like, yeah, this song is about my bike got stolen and I had to go and chase the guy down, and it's a song about, with, like, love in the word, right, and, like, love in the lyrics and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I like to make fun of myself in that regard too.
Yeah.
So
No, that's so I want to, start at the beginning of
yeah,
your musical journey, which is, for me, it was 6 years old hearing the Beach Boys, and here I am almost
yeah,
50
yeah.
doing what I do. But, like, do you have, like, a specific point, or maybe you grew up in a musical household? Like, do you have, like, this moment where you just remember as a child, like, all of a sudden something clicked when you heard it?
Yeah, and give credit to my father, really. Uh, so growing up, he was always the driver in the family, and we would always he would always have his music. And with him growing up in the '60s and the '70s, right, music was was even more maybe a part of people's lives than it is now, I would say, because I think the songs were just better. But he would just put on, when I was younger, he would just put on great songs. And I kind of go back and forth on this a lot, but the one song that comes to my head is America, and it's "I Need You," and it's a very backwall song. But it's one of those things that I'll just, I'll always picture, like, the cassette tape in the car. But that was really the start of it, was my dad just having, even to this day, he has pretty great taste in music. So yeah, it starts with my dad, definitely.
Nice. Now you you're still a kid. This song from America hits you, and
Mhm.
what was kind of like the natural next thing? Was it like turning on the radio, seeing what else was popular, or turning on, we mentioned VH1 or
Mhm.
MTV, or like, is I mean, because I think for a lot of people, like that's a lot happens after that, and like your journey really is all right. Whatever fucking Z100 is telling you to listen to, or
Yeah.
MTV is like, hey, these are the ones you need to be listening to. Was that kind of your next thing for music
That's a great
exploration?
question. That's a great question. I would actually say I still maybe just I don't remember fully, but I don't think I went right to the radio or asking more about his music that he was listening to. I just kind of would just sit there and just, let him go crazy, with whatever he would put on. But really, what that turned to me too was like fifth grade. And the first instrument I ever picked up was a trumpet. And I'm not going to say that was like a correlation type of thing, but it may have just been Staten Island Public School. What's the word I want to use? Staten Island Public School propaganda of that you have to learn the recorder right when you're in
Yep.
kindergarten, because teachers probably had money in that or whatever. But no, that so the first instrument I really like learned okay was a trumpet. And I still play that from time to time actually today. So yeah, that was where I went though. First would be the musical instrument trumpet type stuff.
Nice. Now from trumpet, because it's I mean, it's not the most popular style of things to get into
No,
when you're a kid. Everybody wants, to be a rock star and
yeah.
grabs, a hairbrush to be a lead singer and, plays air guitar. What was your first foray into, like, what kind of led you out of, say, trumpet into something more?
So I mentioned before I was yeah, it was in so I went to middle school and elementary school in Staten Island. So I when I made it to like middle school playing trumpet, I was selected for this thing called borough wide band, which is pretty much like a couple kids from each school in the five boroughs of New York City
Fucking all-star
would get the
team. But you could listen, don't be bashful. It's the all-star team of fucking New York.
I don't know about that. I think because there was a commitment to go to the city. And to this day, my dad hates going to Manhattan. And I just think that my mom made him do it. But anyway, grateful for it because I performed at Carnegie Hall as a seventh grader. And I think right there, I'm pretty sure like the next week, I I started picking up, I took guitar lessons because I wanted that. I liked that feeling, and obviously like you said, like trumpet, unless you're in like the band like Mom Jeans or whatever, like trumpet is not really a fortitude into a rock star. So
Yeah, I mean, you can only have so many ska bands, considering most of them sound
exactly.
exactly the same. Like, there's only so
Exactly.
many trumpet players that can, unless you're, an amazing jazz trumpeter, which there's so many of them. But it's like, it
Yeah.
really is, especially as a kid, it's different, when you're playing, brass instrument as opposed to, listening to rock music and wanting to be a
Yeah.
rock star.
Yeah, of course.
So you take guitar lessons. Usually at that point, I mean, for some people, this is my big thing is like a lot of times kids get into guitar lessons and they quit a couple months later because guitar teachers trying to teach you guitar theory at, 10 years old, as opposed to like, hey, here's three power chords. This makes a song, and letting a kid practice. Well, what kind of teacher did you have for guitar lessons when you first started?
I definitely had the what you just said, the theory and the workbook, which is how I learned trumpet. And I would like to say, so I'm 36, unfortunately, and I would like to say that I was probably one of the last remaining generations of kids that when they learn guitar, it is that it was done after that, because now it's done the right way where you teach kids very popular songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it fun for them, right? They get to learn the songs they hear on the radio, and then they play like a mini show. So, and that's the way it's always should have been. But yeah, uh, I was kind of forced to learn by the book, and I did it for about 6 months. And then, I just kind of said to myself, you know what, I'll take it from here. And then that's really like at that point it was like eighth grade or so. I started doing like coffee houses, and I would just start to strum some chords and such.
Wow, you got some, for eighth graders, some big balls, man. Like the
Yeah,
like want to go out to a coffee house. Yeah,
yeah,
going back to teachers like that and stuff too. Like I think a lot we lost possibly a lot of good musicians or good bands or artists that just at such a young age. It was for me when I started it was piano, and it's like it's just so complicated, and I'm not going to be Beethoven. I'd rather learn the opening chords of a Journey song. That, and once I did learn that, I was like, oh, that's easy, and I can make that sound. I just theory isn't what you should be teaching a child.
agree. Definitely, 100%.
So you start playing coffee houses. What was the push for you possibly to want to there's usually the moment you want to go find like-minded people that have the same taste, and it's the ever beginning of your pivotal life of your very first band. Like who did you seek out? Did you even for like a long time? And then the last question on that would be, what was the name of that very first band you made?
So it kind of twofold, because so one, at that point, um is now we're kind of right around 9/11, or after 9/11, I should say. So my father was working in Manhattan, and if you remember, a lot of businesses that were in lower Manhattan after 9/11, they moved to New Jersey.
Yeah.
So my father's job moved to New Jersey, so we moved to New Jersey. So that's where having the experience of the couple coffee houses on Staten Island that I did, it gave me a chance to connect with people right away, when I got to when I moved to Jersey. So yeah, so that helped me on the community aspect of it, and that's why I really had nothing to hide in that regard. But the first really, like, band, I would probably say, and again, this is outside of the radio stuff, and I'm not even saying like what Z100 and stuff would tell you to listen to, but this is besides like Foo Fighters and all those bands.
Yeah.
But I would probably say Sunny Day Real Estate was the first band that I heard was different.
Your
And at the
gateway.
time,
Yeah.
I thought it was like, this is awesome. Like, this sounds like Foo Fighters, but it's not at all. And that really set me up for the rest of my life here, music wise.
Yeah, the gateway bands are so important and pivotal. And I mean, I say I was very lucky because like I was a punk rock kid, but
Yeah,
my gateway from punk rock to what the changing landscape was, which, is not a bad word, guys, but like whatever people were calling emo was the same band that I loved as a punk rock band, which was Jawbreaker. And the
yeah,
Dear
yeah,
You album to me, I was like, Dear You and Diary are to me, the first two real like, oh, music can be different.
yeah,
Like it doesn't have to be punk. It doesn't have to, you don't have to know guitar licks. You don't have to like, it was, holy shit. There's so much
yeah,
energy behind like the songs, but also this different type of vocal and maybe sadness to it. I guess, the emo word, but I mean,
yeah.
no, it was so, I was lucky in the fact that Jawbreaker was one of my favorite bands, and they literally went from being my punk rock band to my emo band. Like I was, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, and it's crazy because just like how, when I first listened to Sunny Day, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like Foo Fighters, but not at all. That just the understanding, I guess, of and liking Sunny Day, like hearing them for the first time, just led me to this little like cluster, which then set me up. So like I went from Sunny Day to Pinback to Jimmy Eat World to the early November and Brand New. So like and then you could see that's where it like sets me up for as I get older and such. So it's crazy how that stuff starts off.
Yeah. Now you get to Jersey, you meet some people probably. Did you look to other people from moving outside of playing some coffee houses? Did you look to other kids your age that were playing instruments to start a band right away? Or what was that kind of like for you?
Yeah, so Kevin, who's the bassist of my band, I've known him since I moved to New Jersey. and we met through some mutual friends, and he was in one of the first bands that I was probably ever in.
What was the name of that
Uh,
band?
oh, Mauve Dawn, I think was the name of it.
Okay.
I think so. But but again, like when I was in high school, and this is the case now, which is amazing for kids nowadays. I was just in so many different weird name bands and such. But the Mauve Dawn was anything where, like, that was really the first band for me that I was able to play. Uh, we played. I played like Cheesecake Firehouse. Like, we were able to play stuff that wasn't in the high school and
Yeah.
such. So that's where I always start.
Nice. Now, through those early moments of performing at coffee houses by yourself to performing, let's say your very last performance Spring Ahead Fall Apart had, is there, I'm gonna go with two, one's gonna be good, one's gonna be bad, but there a performance of yours personally that you've done that when you have a bad performance now, you say at least it wasn't that? So I'm looking for the worst performance and then one that may be the best and most memorable for
Hmm, that's a great question, Shane. All right, so and it's funny, because myself, Kevin, Jay, and Alex, we are we are a little, we are old men, so we always
you. Easy with
give
being
ourselves.
36 and saying the word old man when you got a 50-year-old on the other side here.
But and also too, with a couple of the guys married and one of them about to get married, so they're used to just uh the evaluating yourself right after right after you're done playing.
Yeah.
And to their credit, to my guys' credit, they're always like, that sounded great. So and I'm usually the one that's kind of hard on myself. But I would say the last show we played was at Crossroads, up in over in
Garwood.
Garwood.
Yeah.
And that was awesome, because that was also the guys played in one of the bands that they were. So the other three members of my band were in this other band called In Our Glory, so they reunited that night. So I love that show for that reason, because those guys love playing those songs. And then, as far as one of the lesser lesser cool ones, I guess, or because I'll say that, like, everything is always a chance to get better, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, we had this show a couple years ago, along the shore. I don't want to say the name of a place, but just in a small place that just it wasn't promoted the right way. It was kind of up in the arms as far as, like, when we were going to play, what time, who we were playing with, was there going to be a door charge? Like, there were so many variables that we lost sight of why we do shows, which is just to have fun and play music, and it caused the vibe of the set to just not be the best. So that's the best way I can answer those
Okay.
questions.
Well, I appreciate it. They're not easy questions to answer.
No,
It's
not at
just
all.
straight hard hitting journalism here at Hidden Tracks. That's
Yeah.
now for you growing up. Another two-part question: what was
Yeah.
the first concert you ever went to, and if it's different, what was the first one you got to choose to go to?
All right. So the first concert was Backstreet Boys at Jones Beach, with my sisters, and this band Five opened up for Backstreet Boys. Listen, it was a great show. The boys were really in there. They were hitting their stride at that point. But as far as music I like, the first show I probably went to would be the early November, at either Eminem Hall or Chrome. One of those. I think it was Club Chrome. I'm pretty sure it was Club Chrome over in Sayreville.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's I can't be on a podcast that take place in New Jersey and talk about emo music without talking about, like, one of my favorite bands is the early November. So and funny enough, I found them through MySpace, essentially. And yeah, but yeah, that was definitely my first show that I chose to go to, though.
And listen, when it comes down to that MySpace Facebook thing, I'll be perfectly honest. I think MySpace was better format, and music was always being played, and you got to tell your friends exactly where they stood in your life by having your top five.
The
Well,
top
like,
eight. Yeah, no, you're so right though, Shane. The music platform for MySpace just literally now. I think there's not data. I don't want to say data. I think there's evidence of this that MySpace was more. It catapulted. Hollywood Undead and what's the Stickly band? Um, just when I think of MySpace bands, I think of like pop hardcore, like stuff like that.
yeah.
But for my case, like I benefited from it from getting emo music. So, but yeah, the MySpace emo music platform was so good that I think even they tried to bring it back like 10 years ago and it failed. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, Justin Timberlake owns MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wait, does he or he own that social network?
no, Justin Timberlake, JT from NSYNC, you can Google it, owns MySpace. They did try. He tried to do something with Google to relaunch it some years ago. It didn't work, but yeah, Justin Timberlake still owns MySpace.
Interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
JT.
Going from your first concert and the concert
Yeah.
that you first got to pick, what was is there a artist or band your biggest regret show that you didn't make it to, that like you're so mad you never got to see
Yeah.
them or something?
Yeah, a couple I want to say about I think almost 12 years ago. I think it was 12 years ago. Or no, a little less than that. As Tall as Lions reunited and they
Mm-hmm.
played in New York City. And As Tall as Lions was a Long Island emo band that the lead singer Dan Nigro is now like one of the best producers in the world. Like he produced he's produced all Olivia Rodrigo's songs and albums. So yeah, missing that concert, which I wish I can look up the date. I think it was 2014, but I feel like that's wrong. But yeah, missing that was awful because I don't think they're ever gonna play again. So yeah.
You never know. Like that's in the world we live in now, with bands popping up that I love seeing it, especially being of an elder emo of the bands
Yeah.
that paved the way, that kind of went by the wayside while other bands broke like right after they went away. Like I love the resurgence in watching bands now get their just due, by coming back and playing shows of the stuff that people really connected with. But unfortunately, as I've had conversations with other elder emos and people
Mhm.
and bands such as that, saying, it does suck that, now you're getting your flowers at, 50, 55 years old. But you got to remember, at the time too, all of us fans that are coming to see you now, we never had that opportunity because we also didn't have the money to go out to a show, to go spend and do those types of things, because we were all young and working, and we all had jobs. We're in our 20s and we're trying to do it, and we didn't have that disposable income. We're now, and we're just, as I say, we're still children but with adult money, so now we get to go travel to see all these bands that are coming back to do these things.
Yeah, and Shane, you talked earlier today about, first thing just about the community, right? The community aspect of everything that we do, but also about how the way music makes people, makes your music make other people feel. The one thing I love, like when I saw Sunny Day played in Brooklyn, one of their first shows on the reunion tour a couple years ago,
Yeah, Brooklyn
and
Steel.
just yes,
Yeah, I was
yes.
there.
Yep. And the coolest thing was, and this is the case for even bands that tour a lot, but that's a whole nother thing. But you could see in the crowd, you could see a bunch of people that still go to shows. You see a couple people that maybe it's been a couple shows a year, and then you see these other people that you could tell they got a sitter, and they
Yeah.
went out to dinner before the show, and they're gonna leave a little early to beat the traffic because they got to get the kid from the sitter. And I like. It's funny. I love the beat the traffic stuff, but I love seeing just all different types of people that come back out for that music, and it just, I think it just validates what the musician's doing, and it's giving those people, something, whether it reminds them of their youth or just something they want to do and like to do.
Yeah, and I think too, when it comes to certain band. I mean, Sunny Day Real Estate is one that I talk about a lot with it. I remember seeing Sunny Day Real Estate and Jeremy Enoch, and
Yeah.
he now, and it's fun to see him now because I've never seen him this happy performing. I remember, I mean, I go back 10 years ago, even him doing a solo, like he was just never, and you never saw him smile, and he never really talked on stage. You could just tell it was kind of like, I don't know what it was for him, but like the difference in the way they play now and the look on his face and the smile, and he's more engaging. I'm like, this to me, I'm so happy that people that never saw them before are getting to see them
Yeah.
now, because it could be the best I've seen them. And it's just, it makes me happy, and it inspires me to see someone like Jeremy,
Yeah.
who's been doing it for so long, be so happy about it now.
Yeah. I was just about to say, you are so right about that. And again, like it just, from watching videos of them live throughout the years, uh, and then seeing that show, and I think I saw them one other time after that Brooklyn Steel show. You are so right. He's singing the songs better, and it just, you could tell he's just having so much more fun. And yeah, that's a really good thing to to pull from that.
Yeah, and like I've seen this, it's almost like this watching him mature, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
we're him and I are the same age, but like it's I see him not leaving right when the show's over too, and if there's someone else playing after them, I see him on the side of the stage, and he's smiling and he's laughing and he's staying and he's watching these other bands perform, where before it was like show's over, drop the guitar and gone. So it's like
Yeah.
you can kind of like, I think he understands how important what he's doing is now, and I'd love to
Yeah.
see that for him. So
For sure.
all right, spring ahead, fall apart. You meet a stranger, you tell them you're in this band, and they say, "All right, you got 3 minutes to wow me. What one song of yours that's currently released out into the world that people can find would you play for that one stranger?"
Probably Rapid Loss.
It's a cemetery on a hill, a grave that doesn't have its contents filled. This Monday morning coffee pot, morphine shot in Bleach White Hall. Rummaging old photo tapes, wondering, did I love you to the fullest of extents? Head in hands.
just because it means the most to me, because it's written after my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it goes back to those things where it's a song that if I heard another band play it or write it, I would be like, wow, this is a song that I enjoy hearing. So yeah, I would say Rapid Loss.
Now, would you say that's your favorite song that you've written to date because of that connection, or is there another song that's like your favorite song that you think you've written? It can be the same.
I
I don't want to
mean,
force you to throw out an answer.
yeah, no. That's it's a valid thought because right there's if something means something to you, it's a little different than just having fun playing the song. Um, we do play a song live a couple times that we just recorded. That is literally it will be because it is currently my favorite song to play. It's one of the favorite songs I've written. That song's called In View. We've played that live a bunch of times. And we recorded it. We're gonna have it out this year, but so I had to get that out there of that I love that song. But of current songs, it's funny. Tension. No, I go down for the night. I gotta go down for the night. Down for the night. That's it.
Okay.
Because the sample that's in the front of the song that I'm surprised it hasn't been taken down because it's from the Music Man.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised.
Well, you never know when some fucking algorithm robot finds it and then says, "Hey,
Ugh.
what is this?"
Shane, and again, it's funny. So I should have really said that first because that song has the beginning sample is from the play or the musical the Music Man, which is one of the first things I saw because again, when I was learning trumpet in band, we would watch the Music Man and we'll listen to all the numbers. So but yeah, man, I pitched that thing up. I sped it up a little bit. We are going on 3 years of it being out, I think.
Okay.
So at
Well,
this
fingers
point,
crossed, because that's usually the point where Spotify, it's 3 to 4 years is where shit gets kicked off.
You know what? Then
You know?
we release it without it. It'll be all
Yeah.
right.
Oh well, your 3 cent check isn't going to show up that
Exactly.
month.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's so weird too how that shit works. My buddy's band, they literally pulled his album down. It was up for 2 years, and he's like, "What I don't understand is they pulled the album down, but every song on that was released as a single because it was a concept thing. So it was everything was astrology. So it was Cancer, Capricorn.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was this huge. He goes, so everyone was released in the month of. So all the singles are still there. He's like, so I just compiled it after they pulled the full album off, took all the singles and made the playlist, which is just the fucking album. He's like, he's like, it's so weird. He's like, we fought, we sent, and he's just like, he goes, you know what? Fuck it. He's like, our lawyers even said like, it's already there. Like, yeah, they removed the full album. 100,000.
100,000. All right, cool.
Yeah, prog metal band. Really good.
Oh, nice. Little Dream Theater or not as much?
Yeah.
Sick.
All right. So we did your favorite song. Now, the Day of Freedom. Your Day of Freedom, which is I call the day you become an adult because you get to drive in the car by yourself because you got your driver's license and you get to go pick up your first friend the day you get your driver's license. Do you happen to remember what you were listening to?
Yeah, there's a band called This Providence, and
yep, I know them.
Yeah, the song was I've been to the top of buildings. I'm falling more in love with you. That song. I loved that album that song was on, and yeah, that CD never left my Volvo. I always played that thing.
Nice. Now, when you guys go to play shows, if you guys are all in the same van or whatever, do you guys have like your pump up band that you would listen to before a show in the van or together?
So only because we typically carpool, but it's only like 2 or 3 members at that because of where we play. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as really like, it's funny. One of the only bands that maybe everyone listens to in the band is probably Jimmy Eat World.
Okay.
So, and we've covered a bunch of songs off Clarity. So I would probably say like Lucky Denver Mint probably because we love that song and it's one of those good ones to just listen to. So
yeah, I got to
Can't really
see.
answer that the best because we don't, we're not together like that too much. But yeah, love that album. So
It is it's an emo masterpiece. And
yes, yes.
being an elder, I got to see them premiere. It was the first time they were playing Lucky Denver Mint live, well before Clarity was coming out, at roller skating rink in Wayne, New Jersey. So
Wow,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's great.
Do you remember the first album that you were given as a gift?
Yeah, you're starting to really see like why I listen to the things I listen to. Saves the Day, Through
Wow.
Being Cool. And I was given the like the booklet on it was missing because my friend had kept it for their wall.
Okay.
Shout out to Gab. I still know Gab. But yeah, was a C so it was missing the booklet, and yeah, it was Through Being Cool on CD.
Wow. Do you remember the first album you bought with your own money?
All I know, it was at Circuit City, but yeah, I can't think what it was. It's funny too, because I have this thing, Shane, where if I think an album is perfect, I have either the CD or I have the cassette for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have like all my older ones like in my storage in my shed. But yeah, I can't think of the first one. All I know, it was definitely at Circuit City though.
All right, then you mentioned perfect album. So why don't you give me your 3 albums that mean the most to you in your life?
Oof. All right. So let me get the name so I say the names correctly because these are great albums. So, and it's funny because these are the influences of my music. But it's been so the first one is Everything Between Paint and the Wall, and that's by this band called Grandview, which they literally dropped like one of the best albums ever, and then just said, "All right, peace. We're good on this music stuff." But yeah, that album's about 13 years old, and it is a front to backer. Not a bad song on it. The second one I'd probably say is this band called The Forecast. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you remember them.
I do. Great male, female vocals. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
perfect
Yeah,
harmonies.
they're I loved Late Night Conversations. And again, just one of those things that I just always always like to put my measure my music up against it. Um, and for the last one, I'd probably say um, the last one's hard because it can go so many different directions. But um, yeah, I'll just throw out just because it's kind of shaped like the new. You're not gonna know the band, but this band called Somos, and they're probably one of my favorite bands. Again, they're not active, but they released an album 2014, Table of Plenty, and just if you would ask me, my number one like current influence is just trying to sound like that band.
They are
Because they're
amazing.
like,
I do know who they are,
yeah,
and I have
yeah,
had them
awesome.
as my weekly threes before, 3 things I was listening to, and they are it's fucking they're absolutely great. Highly
Yeah,
implore people to check
I
it out.
just love it because like there's so much like Title Fight and Joyce Manor like in their music, but also like old school emo and like new movements. So much in their releases. So
Yeah. Now, in your life, what is like the the constant band, like the band that never lets you down? I always say when you don't know what you want to listen to, you're just gonna put this band on all the time. I always say Rolling Stone will call the question, "What's your favorite band?" I ask for the band in your life that never lets you down that you constantly want to listen to.
what's yours?
Mine. So I have 3 that I play through, and I'm allowed
Yeah,
to. I'm the host of the show, so I can have as many as I
I
fucking
was just
want.
about to
But
say, can I get three?
yeah, I probably have 180, but like my
Yeah.
constants are literally it's Face to Face, The
Okay.
Posies, or Elliot. Those are my 3, and it runs
Elliot's
the
a good one.
gamut of my power pop, my punk, and my emo. And it's like if I don't know what I want to listen to, it's just whatever my mood is. Like if I want to get jacked, it's Face to Face. If I want to fucking be happy and shiny, it's Posies. If I just want to fucking chill and listen to the greatest album of all time in False Cathedrals, I'll just throw that on and I'll just be just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, I mean, Come Americans has one of the most simplest bass lines, but well, not simple, but
Yeah.
it's just so effortless that just it's one of my favorites. So yeah, good pick on that one. It's again one of the first bands I ever really loved, and um, I've recorded with this person back when they used to have a studio. Um, when this band first retired, I ran like an online thing to get them to come back.
Early November.
Yep, early
Yeah.
November. So
Well,
yeah, and
as soon as you said you recorded, so what was that? What, Kaufman or
no, it was with Ace, and it was
Ace?
in
Okay.
at his old studio. One is the original studio in Hamilton.
Nice. Yeah.
But
As soon as you started going, I was like, all right, it's early November.
yeah,
I'm sorry that I ruined that the tension there for everybody, but
nah, I'm like I've traveled to see him play. I'm doing it next week because I missed them when they were up here. So yeah, definitely one of my go-tos forever.
that's awesome. Now, how about something you listen to that, based upon all the bands and artists we've been saying and talking about, something you listen to that would people be super surprised after all the bands we've named that you get tons of enjoyment out of listening to? Mine's Jamiroquai, so you can go off of that. Like Jamiroquai is my dude, and I don't like it is. People have caught me listening to it still at almost 50 years old. I still get that little 2 seconds of like, oh shit, I got caught listening to Jamiroquai, but then I'm like, fuck you, it's amazing. But that's kind of like that's my, as we call it, guilty pleasure, but it's just a pleasure now.
I'd probably say, do you remember the YouTuber Casey Neistat?
I don't.
All right. So Casey Neistat was a vlogger, and I love watching YouTubers. But anyway, he used to have on his vlogs this like not house. It's like this old school hip hop stuff that is just it's riddled in samples. Like one of the bands is Koyo, I think.
From Long
It's not
Island.
even a band. It's a guy. It's a guy that just makes. I'm saying that band wrong, but
Okay.
it's not in a band. It's a guy that just makes samples, and it's over like these hip hop beats. And I have this playlist, like Casey Neistat YouTube music playlist, and I just listen to it. And there's nothing to sing. It's just legit like background music, like you're
beats.
like you're shopping in the store.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Not too bad. Do you remember the last song you cried to?
It's a great question.
We're getting to the emotional part of the show, so
yeah.
Hold on.
The last song I cried to. I mean, I can think of the last movie or show. I mean, so I wouldn't say cry, but feeling something like very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
This it was an Instagram ad that I got. This song "Joy and Despair" by Charlie Nordewire, but it's a very like sweet sounding melody, and it's like a soft acoustic version, and there's a band version. But yeah, really, like I literally was stopped in my tracks when I heard this thing.
Nice. All right, you got 5 minutes left to live. Meteors hurling into the earth, and you have to listen to one song and one song only. What song are you listening to?
One song and one song only. Wow. That would be like that is a hard question to answer. Wow. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit of a surprise, but I'd probably say, because it combines. All right. So the song is "What Do You Want From Me," and it's by Pink Floyd, but it was a David Gilmour era.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second song off The Division Bell, which was Pink Floyd's like last major release. And it would be my last song because number one, the recording of it is incredible. David Gilmour is amazing. The song is good. And it's such a nice, it would be such a nice reminder to me of me listening to that cassette tape in my Volvo when I was younger. My dad having it on in the car, and just how David Gilmour to this day is like still making music and still being for the right things in the world and all these good stuff. So yeah, I would say that.
Nice. And listen, based upon how we've been talking, that is a surprise. So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But I can't go anywhere else. Can't go anywhere else with that one.
Another horrible question. Unfortunately, your domicile is burning to the ground. All living things, creatures, goldfish, rats, everything is out safely. But you have a moment to run back in and grab one musical item or memorabilia or something that means the most to you. What are you running back in and saving?
Well, to answer the question, how because I look at things too literally sometimes. Um, I have right by my front door, I have a picture of my mom and the flower that's on her casket. So I would, in all honesty, I would grab that before anything
Okay,
else.
yeah,
But in the
yeah,
case,
I'm with you there.
yeah, in case that was out safely, in case that was out safely, um, I'd probably say I have a night. This is very materialistic, but I have a 1997 Fender Telesonic, and it's one of my favorite guitars, and I love it. So yeah, the very materialistic answer is I would run and get that because I love the guitar.
It's awesome. All right. Do you have a piece of music memorabilia other than an instrument that means the most to you? And I'm only asking questions that I have my own answers to. That's why the show is what it
Yeah.
is, because I've had my own answers for years. And I'm like, other people have to think about these things too. But
um, I do have Um, no, I mean, because the my and I don't know if your answer goes this way, but my head goes to some posters that I have and I've gotten recently from a couple shows that I went to that I didn't think I was ever going to go to again.
yeah,
Um,
mine's a poster. So
so
yeah,
what was that?
I said mine's a poster. So I'm with you there.
Yeah, so mine is a yeah. So yeah, mine is just a poster. That's it's not signed or anything, but just yeah, to me it
Which
means a
band?
whole bunch of
What poster is it?
it is for brand new.
Okay.
So yeah,
All
and
right.
that was just something where I just didn't think it was ever going to happen in my lifetime again, and I was able to go to a couple things last year, a couple shows, and I look at that because again, that was some of the music again that I was listening to, all like the early November, all these other new local bands, and As Tall as Lions and all that stuff, right? That band was always there also, and it was also one of those bands where, this is really why it means the most to me is you know, when I was a little bit older and I was driving in the car and my mom was in the car, she would do this thing where she would try to act interested and like she would try to act like she knows the songs that I'm
The
listening to.
good moms. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she would do these things where she would hum like some brand new songs. And I'm like, Mom, you don't know this song. And she's like, Yeah, but it's good. Who sings this? And she would ask that every time. So yeah, the first thing that I think of when I look at that poster is my mom, and that's really why I have it and that's why I like it. So
Yeah. Well, it's
what's your poster?
my poster is I have autographed poster by Frightened Rabbit from right
Oh
before
man.
Scott left us. So
Oh
yeah. So that is, and a lot of the things I have like are posters. Like I got some albums that I would rescue,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
I mean I haven't. I'm staring at here in my studio. I have an original art print from the cover of False Cathedrals from Elliot. I have like this stuff that I have a handwritten lyrics from an artist by the name of Rustin Kelly that was supposed to be on the show and he couldn't come on the show, so he wrote my favorite song of his on lyrics and said sorry and love you. And like I have a lot of cool things, and it's like, all right, I don't know how many arms I would have, but if I had to grab the one thing, it would be the Frightened Rabbit because
Wow.
that band just means so much to me. All right, your time machine song. Do you have like a song in your life that every time it comes on, you literally brought back to the moment and the smells and the feels and everything about that moment?
Um I think I'm going back to, just because I think of my Volvo when I think of it, is that this Providence album. Um just because I can smell my old leather Volvo seats when I listen to that album. So because I had one of my first cars was a Volvo 850 station wagon, and when it would get too hot, the the old pleather would just stink terribly. So yeah, it would be
Yeah,
that album by this Providence.
yeah, it would reek of young boy sweat and farts. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
100%. Especially me. I've always been a fat boy, so yeah.
uh well, I don't want to keep you here all night. It's been awesome having you here. We're going to come into our final segment here in a
Okay.
minute or two, but
Yeah.
prior to getting to our final segment, I want to give you the opportunity to tell everybody uh about spring ahead fall apart, what it is you guys do, how they can follow you, how they can all your handles, how they can support the band, because I'm tired of fucking saying it. People support the music you enjoy listening to any way you can, whether it's fucking 50 cents for buying a song on Bandcamp, something, anything to help these artists that we have here that we believe in continue to make more music, because once they're gone, we've all found out a lot of them just go away forever. So now's your opportunity to tell everybody how it is to keep up with what everything's spring ahead fall apart is about.
Yeah, so we're not big on, and this is just the way that I just do things, is we're not big on merch, we're not big on physical media, but if obviously, like, our handle across everything is spring ahead fall apart. But I would say just the most direct way you can support is just by coming to a show. And right now, like, at this point in my, like, musical, hobby or whatever you want to call it, is, I've been trying to put on shows of bands that I love, and a lot of times they're local bands that are, probably gonna go places, and I get a chance to play my music with some music that I like. So yeah, so come to a show. I'm playing, I'm opening for over up there March 28th, but I'm also putting on a rooftop show in Belmarn the end of April. It's going to be incredible. But yeah, follow Spring Ahead Fall Apart on everywhere.
Nice. Yeah, and that, again, I'm excited to have you back,
Yeah,
opening a pretty awesome show. Headliner that night is Ringside Tonic out of
yeah,
Long
they're
Island.
incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're incredible.
so I'm happy that I love the way that the show is going to progress as well too. So like it's gonna, I'm excited. Thank you for
Yeah, of
agreeing to
course.
it again.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
well, our final segment is our weekly threes. This is three things that you're listening to that you would like people to check out. You're going to give three things, and then I'll give my three things.
Okay. All right. So the first thing is by one of the bands playing my rooftop show in April. It's a band from Philadelphia called Goings, and the song is Trying Dying. And Goings is a band that sounds like Prawn if they filled in for Motion City Soundtrack, would be the best way to describe
Wow,
them. Yeah, they're
love
very,
that.
very good. Yeah,
Love that
they're
description.
yeah. The second thing is the song "Dissolve" by the band Flycatcher, who I believe it's Greg, Peace, and Connor from Asbury Park. It's like slow joy meets very indie sounding music. It's pretty cool. And then the last thing I would say that I am into right now is, you're talking about Long Island, band from Long Island, Inner Love. Inner Love released an album 3 years ago that I've been listening front and back recently called Roscoe. So yeah, so Roscoe by Inner Love, the song Dissolve by Flycatcher, um, and then Trying Dying by Goings.
Nice.
How
Good
about you?
three. So my three, my first one is a band called Surprise Chef. They're an
Okay.
Australian jazz funk fusion band. Just, you were talking before about having something on in the background.
Yeah,
The album is called Superb. I'm telling you, if you just want to hang out and have music on in the background, Surprise Chef. They're so fucking talented, so good.
interesting. I'll check it out.
Next is an artist that goes by the name of Cloud Kicker. His name's Ben Sharp, but what he does is Cloud Kicker. He is a multi instrumental band, no vocals. It is kind of like a proggy metal instrumental band. It's Explosions in the Sky meets Alpha Male Tea Party and just will fuck your world up.
Cool. Yeah.
And last but not least is an older band, because I've been going through all my CDs and organizing and seeing what I'm going to bring to the store to get rid of. And one of them that I threw on, I was like, man, I think I love this album. And I do. The band is called Grade. They're a Toronto hardcore, post-hardcore band, and Under the Radar is the name of the album. But if you want some screaming,
What is it called?
The name of the band is Grade, Grade, and Under the Radar is the album that I was
listening. Check them out for sure.
Yeah, from like 1999, so like that big movement of post-hardcore coming out. So, but those are my three.
Love it. All right, sick.
Well, Rob, there's so many thank yous I can give you. Thank you for supporting the organization, Mending Through Music, and headlining that. Thank you for coming back out March 28th to play an amazing show at the shop. Thank you for creating the music that brought us together. I mean, that to me is so important. And I think more people need to say that to artists that they enjoy listening to if they have an opportunity to. Just thank you for creating the music that helps me get through my day when I need something. It's so important to me to be able to tell you that. I got to tell you that to your face last time. I'll tell you again in a couple of weeks, and I get to tell you here now too. But thank you so much, and thank you for being here and opening up and letting people see the man behind the curtain for a little bit.
Well, again, thank you for all you do with still owning music shop and giving chances for artists like myself to be able to play. And I really appreciate your kind words. And I couldn't do. And the same thing for my guys, man. Like, we can't do this without the support of like their own family, my own family, and my friends Jay and Rob that come to almost everything that I do. So, and it's similar to you, right? I'm sure you have supporters that help you with all your stuff. It's the same thing. But again, I really, really appreciate you, Shane. Really, really do, man.
Well, thank you for that. And everybody out there in the world now, you know what time it is. It's time to go out, listen to Spring Ahead, Fall Apart, and have a great fucking time.
It's bad.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions to myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.